It is time for my Week 17 predictions. Only the last 2 weeks left in this NFL season. It's going to be a wild finish. These last 2 weeks are so important, and this is going to be a crazy finish to the playoff picture. Let's get straight into my picks. Starting off here, as you can see, with the Titans taking on the Texans. Titans 5-10, Texans 8-7, battling for their playoff lives. CJ Stroud will be back this week for the Texans, giving them a great shot here at home to continue to keep their playoff hope alive for one more week. If the Texans win out, they'll make the playoffs. This is the first step to it. I think they can get this win at home, and they get it done 27-20. CJ Stroud looks a little bit rusty, but Texans find a way. Defense doesn't play too great, but Texans do enough on offense to find a way and really beat a bad Titans team, and winner take all next week for them. Now, Saturday night game, it's a really great game. The Cowboys 10-5 taking on the Detroit Lions 11-4, who just won the division for the first time after 30 years. Congrats to them. And they made the playoffs for the first time since 2016, I believe. So good for the Lions. You know, they finally made it. They're a really relevant team. Good Saturday night game in Dallas. Cowboys, I think, get it done easily. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Lost to the Bills, lost to the Dolphins. The Dolphins game they could have won, but I think this Cowboys offense, the Cowboys are the best team in the league at home when they play at AT&T Stadium. Their offense puts up insane amount of numbers. They'll get it done again, this time putting up 35 against what I think is Lions defense that they can get after on offense. Dak Prescott puts in a great game. Cowboys get a rebound on defense. They played solid defensively last game. I think they hold the Lions in check. I think the Lions have been a little bit vulnerable here and there. I think the Cowboys at home are just by far a very superior team. So we'll see what happens. A lot of respect to the Lions for sure. Next up, got an underrated game here. Steelers taking on the Seahawks. Both teams are 8-7. Both teams are fighting for a wild card game. I am going with the Seahawks here. 1, because they're playing at home, and 2, because I think their offense will be a little bit better in this game. Geno Smith is back for the Seahawks. They're able to beat the Titans last week. The Steelers were able to beat up on the Bengals. Mason Rudolph, how about him? Showed up big time. George Pickens was great. The Steelers offense finally looked electric a little bit. But I think the Seahawks defense, of course, in Seattle is really great. I think, ZK Metcalf, Geno, they do enough to get it done on offense. They beat the Steelers and are trying to keep themselves in the last seed for the NFC. And that pretty much wraps up the Steelers' hopes of a playoff spot. And we got a really great game in the afternoon window. The Baltimore Ravens, 12-3, best team in the league, taking on the Miami Dolphins, the number 1 versus number 2 seeds in the AFC, going at it 11-4 in Baltimore. I think that gives the Ravens a huge advantage in this one. Dolphins just don't look very, very convincing to me. More so, the Cowboys made more mistakes than the Dolphins actually winning. Early window, but I think the Ravens, again, they dominate the 49ers. I think they'll be able to dominate the Dolphins. Dolphins do not have Jalen Waddle this time. Tyreek Hill's a little bit healthier, but my God, the Ravens are just such a great team at this point. I think they get it done by 12. And then late afternoon, we got the Chiefs, struggling Chiefs at 9-6, a number 3 seed in the AFC, taking on the Bengals, who are fighting for their playoff lives. I think the Chiefs get a huge rebound win after a terrible loss against the Raiders. They win 28-20. Offense looks a little bit better. I don't think the Bengals defense is very good. I think the Chiefs defense has been pretty good, so they hold Jake Browning and the Bengals. T. Higgins is the really only guy. A couple injuries for the Bengals. I think the Chiefs get a huge rebound game, but still don't look, the old kind of Chiefs that we've seen from before. Then we got another great game in the afternoon window, kind of a sneaky game for the NFC South division. If the Bucs win, they clinch the NFC South, I believe. And I think they do, 31-27. The Bucs are a great team. Baker Mayfield's a great player, great quarterback, They win at home. The Saints, Derek Carr, just not, they're an average team. I think the Bucs get it done. Their offense is great. Finally, the Sunday night game, got the Packers and Vikings. Both teams are fighting for their playoff spots. They're just outside the playoff picture in the hunt. The winner of this game is able to stay alive. The loser gets eliminated. So I think the Packers can go into Minnesota and get the win by 2. I like Jordan Love. He's had some good games here and there. I think he gets one here against the Vikings. Nick Mullins threw 4 picks last week. I think the Packers are opportunistic. They're able to get one here against Mullins. And I think the Viking season officially comes to an end. I think the Packers keep their season alive. Now, finally, the last few games got the Jaguars squeaking by the Panthers simply because no Trevor Lawrence. The Rams cruised by the Giants easily. 49ers, bounced back big time against Commanders. Bills beat the Patriots easily. Falcons easily beat the Bears. Eagles take care of the Cardinals easily. Colts get by the Raiders. I think that's a sneaky good game. And I think the Chargers get it done against the Broncos. So those are my Week 17 picks. Let me know what you think, who you think is going to win between the Cowboys and Lions or Ravens and Dolphins. And I'll see you in the next one.